Hello, everyone. Good morning to you if you are from West Africa, especially Nigeria, where we have the largest audience for our events. Good morning to you and happy Saturday to everyone. I want to welcome you very specially to another episode of our training this weekend, where we are looking into another technical sections of Azure that has to do with OpenAI. In the recent time, there is a lot of bubbles in the space, in the digital space, as regard what AI can do. Recently, I facilitated a training that has to do with how we can use generative AI for software development. I'm not a software developer, but because I know the technicalities of using intelligence, I was able to deploy it for the services of software developers. So now the idea is that AI is evolving and people are getting to know how they can maximize the advantage of AI. And that is why we are bringing this episode to your side so that you can see how, from Microsoft perspective, we can use artificial intelligence, large language models, and a lot of possibilities that we can do within the artificial intelligence open space. It is my pleasure to invite our special guest, which is Mr. Damilola Afolabi, on board for this very special of our day. And before he comes up for his presentation, I want to inform you that this we normally have to train in a week. We have one that you are. So tomorrow will be another episode, which is for our soft skill, and that will be hour of 5 p.m. Nigeria to 6 p.m. So the same guest speaker that we have today is speaking on that section tomorrow. It is my delight to introduce to you formally. Afolabi is a top information technology expert, a renowned tech mogul, and a serial entrepreneur known by the username Bao Boyelov. Is it Boyelov? So it will explain better.
Boiler.
Damilola has grown an established IT career over a decade of combined experience in software development, building scalable applications for web, mobile desktop, and custom platforms on devices. So for more details about Mr. Damilola, you can check this event's registration page where we share his LinkedIn account for further engagement on further collaboration for future endeavors. So, Mr. Damilola, it is my pleasure to formally welcome you on board. Yes, it is my pleasure,
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Damilola.
you. Glad to be here.
Yeah,
My pleasure as well.
yeah.
Glad to be here.
All right. So let me bring your
Okay.
slides to, and I'll be at the background while your section is ongoing, right?
Okay. Great. Great.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So,
So you have the
good morning,
floor.
everyone, and welcome to this session. Thank you for joining this Azure Community Live study series. Again, my name is Damnola Falabi, and over the next hour or so, we will be diving into Azure OpenAI Service, particularly just getting started on Azure OpenAI Service. Our goal is to equip you with the foundational knowledge to start exploring and using this powerful AI capabilities within the Azure cloud uh, ecosystem. My name is Damola Flabi. I am a software engineer, a cloud engineer. Over the past decade, I've transitioned between roles, and it has allowed me gather multiple experiences from different IT spaces and backgrounds. Some of which I'll be sharing with you today. So, to get started, I want to run through a list of things that we will be touching on today, which is, and before I dive in, I want to quickly apologize if I'm a little bit rusty because I didn't fully plan for this today, but I hope it's as much fun to be here for you as it is for me. So, a few of the things that we will be working through today are describing, okay, what Azure OpenAI services, the key capabilities of Azure OpenAI, what can it do for you, step-by-step guide on setting up your own OpenAI resource. We're going to discuss a few responsible AI principles and do a we discuss real world use cases of chatbots or this resource that we are deploying. Then we'll go ahead to run a quick hands-on demo of OpenAI service and attempt to make our first API call. After which, we're going to discuss best practices and tips on getting started, as well as entertaining questions and answers. So let's start with the basics. So what exactly is Azure OpenAI Service? Put simply, it is the bridge between Microsoft Azure, you know, uh, it's the bridge provided by Microsoft Azure, giving developers secure and enterprise-ready access to OpenAI's cutting-edge AI models, via standard REST API. If you have heard of ChatGPT, OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, and Azure is a product from Microsoft. It's a cloud service from Microsoft that encompasses a large suite of services. Okay, so Azure OpenAI service is, would I say, a child between the marriage of Microsoft Azure and OpenAI's AI models. So how does this work exactly? So pretty much you deploy an OpenAI resource within your Azure subscription, and this resource acts as a gateway. You can then deploy specific models like maybe GPT 4.0 or GPT 3.5 Turbo within that resource. Now, we'll get to that down the line in this session. So your applications can then interact with these models by sending requests to the resource, to the resource unique endpoint, typically maybe using an Azure SDK, for languages like Python, .NET, or making a direct API call, REST API call. And that begs the question, why use Azure for this? So Azure wraps this powerful model, that's OpenAI models, with benefits crucial for businesses, robust security controls, compliance certifications, options for private networking, global regional availability for performance and data residency. If I had to put that in simple terms, It's dropping OpenAI models within the vast capabilities of Azure Cloud. You know, given the large or the vast wealth of the Azure ecosystem, you can build your AI solution and residence it within your existing infrastructure, and you get seamless integration between other Azure services. So, what are the key capabilities of this OpenAI service, and what are the models that are available? So, as OpenAI provides access to a diverse set of powerful AI models, each suited for different tasks. So, for conversational AI, we have ChatGPT. We have models that power experiences like ChatGPT. Namely ChatGPT. GPT 3.5 Turbo, and the more advanced GPT-4. So they are optimized for multi-turn chat applications, but are also highly capable for single-turn tasks. If I had to break that down, so say you're chatting with multiple or continuous chats, that's pretty much what that means. These models that I also just mentioned, GPT 3.5, GPT 4, they are also masters of general language. That is understanding the language that you and I speak, just regular English. You know, you can think of content creation, text summarization, classifying information, pretty much understanding the natural language that you and I speak, and then processing that to get insights or to get data points. You know, one of the capabilities of this model is also code generation and understanding. So so using these models, you can generate and explain code. If you are a developer, you could use these models to generate or explain code snippets, and it can assist you in debugging, and ease your programming timeline or your development timeline. One of the features or capabilities of these OpenAI models is also image generation. If you've seen this popular uh, cartoon generation that has been circling online, that is a product of LLM models. Okay, so the model directly responsible for this is called DALL-E. So it allows you to create unique images directly from text prompts. Another capability of uh, the OpenAI models is embeddings, converting text to vectors for semantic search and recommendations. So if you need to find things based on meaning, you know, search that. So pretty much every uh, website that uses search, you want to call that search level antique because like Google search or other searches on websites like marketplaces, you type in a specific prompt and then it shows search results based off of that prompt. That is keyword search. There's also what we call semantic search. So you are looking for a black bag on Amazon. You type a black bag, everything that you see is a black bag. You know? And if you are when I say a female, you might understand that uh, you might have preferences with color. You might have color literacy. You know, I don't know if you've heard women or ladies talk about dynamic colors like maybe sky blue or garnished green. You know, there are certain colors that have those specific fancy names to them, which do not have the specific color palette tied to them, you know, like burgundy, you know. So when you're looking for, I think burgundy is also looks like brown or looks like wine. So if you go to a website like Amazon and you type in burgundy, you might have less results. You know. One of the usefulness of semantic search is looking at um, that tag that you typed in, burgundy, and look at what it translates to. Okay, burgundy is a mix of brown and wine. Again, don't take me up on that. I'm not a color literate, but that's as an example. So it finds meaning between certain words and then uses that to, and you can incorporate that into your um, application. So another example of vector-based search or semantic search is recommendation systems and clustering similar documents. So you have a pile of documents from your organization that you use regularly, and you rather than go ahead and sort those documents one by one, you can outsource that to the OpenAI model, whereby it automatically picks files from a storage container on Azure, analyzes that file, and then puts it in a different container, which is, would I say, a class of its own or a category. Think about like sorting files into different folders. Rather than doing it manually, you are doing it automatically. So that's an example of semantic search. And it could do that based off of the content of that document. Or you could find that, okay, maybe your um, rent receipt is related to the agreement that you signed for that lease, you know, and then put that in. So that's a general example. Finally, we have fine tuning, which allows you to take a base model and further train it on your own specific data sets, you know, allowing it to be more performant and unique in how it solves your problems. So having done all this explanation, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a walkthrough of the Azure platform and setting up your own uh, OpenAI resource. Let me see. Give me a second. Pull that up real quick. That is interesting. And sign into a different account. Oof. Spiffy. A second. Password plus. And username. And paste this guy here. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to sign into my Azure portal. For security reasons, I'm doing it off the broadcast. Dim, 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 dim. Demo God should be with us today, please. Okay, and expecting a code. So I'm waiting to sign into my account still. It's taking forever. Okay, there you are. And boom. Great. Now we're in. So I'm gonna pull this up right here. Great. So now I'm logged into my Azure portal. Goal is to walk you through how to set up uh, the OpenAI resource. So because I've used this recently, listed in my resource, click the create a resource link, and you should see it among the popular Azure services, or you could just go ahead and search for Azure OpenAI. And that should bring it up. Also, you could search from the general search area, and you would also find this. This up here. Great. So I'm just going to go ahead and click create. So for you to be able to um, create a resource, first you need an active Azure subscription. So right here I have an Azure subscription, so I have that selected. And generally you need to be logged into Azure, like I've shown you. So I'm going to create a resource group for this. RG OpenAI live demo. Okay, and I'm going to select East US. One thing I did notice is when you select other um, locations, you get an error. So this service is available in limited areas. You could find that in the Azure doc for OpenAI services. I might need to jump. Okay, so here you have different pricing based on, as you can see, a list of a limited number of regions with availability. For example, when I selected Central US, find that um, pricing is not available for this region. So for this demo, I'm just going to stick with East US. So let's give our OpenAI service a name. So Azure Community Workshop Session. One thing about this name is it needs to be unique, because eventually you're going to get an endpoint, which is a URL that allows you access your OpenAI resource. So it needs to be unique, I believe, across Azure. So the name of the resource will also be a custom domain name in your endpoint. Your resource name can only include alphanumeric characters and hyphens and can't start or end with an hyphen. So I believe this is unique enough. Workshop session. Pricing tier. Just going to select standard, saying that that's the only available option right now. Just going to hit next. Because I would want to access this resource via REST API from anywhere, I'm going to choose all networks. If you want to make it available within selected networks, you would change the security parameter to fit the networking parameters to fit your needs. So I'm going to hit next again. I'm going to skip tags and just hit create. So I'm going to wait a few seconds for this to be ready. Let me stop here. Great. And create. So you might need to wait a couple of minutes for it to be available. Give or take somewhere between 5 minutes. So we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Okay. So deployment in progress. Close this out. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Great. And deployment is complete. So I'm going to click to go to the select resource. And here we have the resource. So I'm going to select the resource we just created, which is Azure Community Workshop Session. So here on the detail page of the resource, you see a few things like the resource group was deployed to, the status, is it active, the location, pretty much all those default configuration that define the environment it was deployed in. What's more important are the details you have on the left, on the right rather, which is okay, API kind, OpenAI standard, uh, pricing tier standard, and you have the endpoint and keys. These two things are important because the endpoint is pretty much the URL that you use to access your models, your OpenAI resource, programmatically, of course. While managed keys or keys constitute or contains the keys, the API keys with which you access that endpoint. To see them, you can click that option and it takes you to the keys and endpoints. You can copy the keys and copy the endpoint as well and use that programmatically. I will show you later in this session a sample code that illustrates how to utilize this. Okay, 1 second. Apologies, it took me somewhat slow, so I'm just going to move ahead. Let me take your time there. Okay, so now that we've deployed the OpenAI resource, it's time to deploy the model that we will use in this resource. To be able to further interact with this resource that we've deployed, we'll need to go to AI Foundry, formerly, I believe it was formerly AI Studio. Okay, so here in Azure AI Foundry, we are taking to the chat playground section of Azure OpenAI Service. Here you can do things like uh, review your model catalog. So earlier I briefly touched on the different models that are available on OpenAI, different models. And here you can see a full catalog of all those models. So you have O3, which is a chat completion model, O4 mini, GPT 4.1, GPT 4.1 nano, uh, 4.0 mini TTS, 4.0 transcribe. So this all these models, they differ in capability and function. For example, O3 model handles chat completion, while 4.40 mini TTS handles text to speech. So if you wanted to build a, say, a live chat, live support system, you know, or a chatbot, you might use you might consider using this chat completion models. If you are looking to uh, create an app or a solution that translates text to speech, maybe like read out loud, say you work in a law firm and you want to be able to give your clients a brief of what the agreement entails. So you might build a solution that takes the document, summarizes the core points, and translates that into voice or into an audio. Most entrepreneurs or most business owners or C-suite executives are busy, so they can appreciate a tool that helps saves them time. So rather than having to read through maybe 10 pages of documents, you could have this solution that once document has been drafted, it summarizes the key points, uh, converts that into an audio file, and probably sends it to them on their favorite platform. Maybe it's WhatsApp. Automatically send them a WhatsApp audio that reads, that summarizes that uh, document. So uh, that audio generation, speech to text. Uh, you also have image generation models. Like I mentioned earlier, the sample cartoon images that you've seen online lately, where you type in it, you upload your picture, and it creates a cartoon figure of you. You know, those are image generation models. Example is GPT image one. Let's see if there are others. DALL-E, popular one. So back to AI Foundry. Here you see the model catalog. Next, you see playgrounds. Playgrounds are places where you could play with certain contexts. You know, prompt your AI model to do certain things for you. Most popular one, frequently used one, or if you've used ChatGPT or if you've used any LLM model platform, you will easily be accustomed to the chat section of this. You also have other playgrounds like assistants, where you can create AI agents. You have audio playground, where you can work with audio files. You have image playground, where you can work with image files. Then you have chat completions too. Today we will be working with the chat playground. So I'm going to take two steps back and briefly explain how we got here. We deployed an OpenAI resource on Azure. That OpenAI resource, you can think about it like a container where you need to deploy said model in, that is a specific model. The OpenAI service that you deployed on Azure itself doesn't give you the solution. It just provides you with an environment with which to deploy the model itself. So here you see the Azure resource that we deployed. Now inside that Azure resource, we'll be deploying a model. So here you see this button, create a deployment. Just going to go ahead and create deployment. Here you'd find a list of uh, models to choose from. Again, depending on what your use case is, you want to select a model that fits your use case. I'm just going to select the popular one. I believe that's ChatGPT. Here you see a few details about its capabilities and versioning. For developers looking to uh, use this, for a developer looking to use this, you might want to check out the versioning section to see, okay, what capabilities does this model have? Say there is a ChatGPT 5.1, ChatGPT or a GPT model 4.9, but peradventure that's not yet available on Azure. This is where you find out or say, okay, I'm waiting for them to deploy 4.9 because 4.9 has a specific uh, feature or feature set that I would like to use in my application. So having selected the model, again, it can be any model depending on what your use case is. Depending on any model you see, you select, you find and see capabilities of said model and its limitations in the description. For this demo, we're using GPT-4. I'm just going to hit confirm. Okay, so deployment name GPT-4, deployment type global standard, and its US, yada yada. And a new AI resource will be created for your deployment. Resource location that supports the model has been pre-selected. So gonna hit create. Again, this might take a second to come up because it's deploying the model within the Azure resource. And again, the Azure resource is deployed within your Azure infrastructure environment.
Awesome, Damilola. Awesome, awesome, awesome. While it's deploying, I have a question for you from one of our viewers, and he says, Azure is a pass that requires one to learn about the environment and its usage. Like he's asking, is Azure
Okay.
a pass that requires one to learn about the environment and its usage?
Yes, yes, and no. So, or should I say no and yes? So, the first, which is no, is Azure is not just a pass. Azure is, would I say, a cloud service that consists more than a pass, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service solution, depending on what your needs are. So Azure itself goes beyond being a PaaS. Azure offers a PaaS service alongside offering an infrastructure as a service, an IaaS service, or a SaaS, or a I want to go ahead and say gas, but that's like an extensive um, touch point. So no, in the sense that Azure goes beyond offering a platform as a service solution. Azure offers much more than that. Although Azure OpenAI Service is a platform as a service solution offered by Azure. Okay. Now, does this require one to learn about the environment and its usage? Yes, it does. You need to, what I say, understand its use cases so that you can, like pretty much everything, you need to understand, okay, how does this fit into your deployment? How can you maximize the use? So I think that's just like a general question with a general requirement with everything. You know, if you have a armor, before you can use that armor, you need to like learn how to use it efficiently. So, but some of this resources or this platform as a service solutions are quite easy to use. As you can see during the course of this demo, within the span of 5 to 10 minutes, we have gone ahead and deployed an Azure OpenAI resource, as well as, oh, I think I missed the deployment of this model, so I'm going to refresh this, as
Um,
well as deployed,
that
say
means
that again.
we
Yes,
have
yes.
roughly 7 minutes to round up, so let's try to
Oof, okay, so
round up.
let's race through this, and I'm going to try and deploy this again. We kind of missed the deployment detail during this question. So while this is deploying, I'm going to quickly wrap up that question. So this platform as service solutions have been made very, very easy. One of the goals of platform as service is to make infrastructure easy and ready to use for developers. You know, if you had to go ahead and manually deploy this on your own VM, which is infrastructure as a service, and manage, is going to take forever. It requires experts IT skills, you know. But platform as a service simplifies uh, integration of development tools for developers. Yeah. So yes, there's some learning required, but not you can get started without extensive knowledge. I'm gonna find out what's going on here. Okay, great. So yes, it's been deployed, and oh, it looks like I deployed it twice. So I'm gonna select this source, and so this is the new model we just deployed. You know. So we deployed this model named further. We could have named it something else, maybe uh, document summarizer. You know, we could have named it that. But a quick brush through the screen that you're looking at. On the left, you have parameters that define how your model acts or how it behaves. Okay. On the right, you have the history, which is similar to the chat section you see when you are talking to somebody or when you're chatting with maybe ChatGPT or any LLM platform. This here is where you define this box here for model instruction is where you define how you want your model to perform, how you want it to behave. For this demo, I have set up a quick prompt to use. Just gonna copy that before time eludes us. Gonna paste that here and read that quickly. So I'm gonna expand this box a little. Say, so this is an example of a model instruction. Shoot. Let me bring that back here. Stop sharing and sorry. And bring that in here. Where are you? Great. So I'm trying to share my screen again. And there you go. That was crazy. Apologize for that. And since we're back on entire screen and boom. Promise. Hello. Promise. Yeah. Oh, I can hardly make out what you're saying. Can you hear me? I think you're muted.
Sorry, I
Okay.
was muted, but I did
Okay.
share
Great.
with you.
Oh, yeah. Great. Great. Oh. Okay. Wrong screen. Share to here and window entire screen. This guy. Great. Great. So here's an example of a model instruction. You are Azure Bot, a friendly and helpful customer support assistant with Contoso Electronics on an online retailer. Your goal is to assist customers with order inquiries, product questions, and basic troubleshooting for Contoso branded smart home devices. You should be polite, empathic, and provide clear, concise answers. If you cannot answer a question or resolve an issue, offer to escalate the chat to a human agent. Do not provide information about competitors, or discuss internal company policies beyond what's publicly available on the Contoso website. Assume you have access to this knowledge. So here's an example of a an instruction to an OpenAI model that you deployed on Azure OpenAI resource. Once I added this instruction, I'm going to click apply to apply it. So once applied, now I can go ahead and interact with this model using the chat section. And here's an example of, I'm just going to copy this and copy and paste. So, hi, I ordered a Contoso smart bulb order XYZ last week, but the tracking hasn't updated in 3 days. Can you check it? I'm gonna enter and wait for it to respond. And here comes the response. Hello, I'm sorry to hear that tracking information from your Contoso smart bulb hasn't been updated recently. Let me check the status of your order. After looking into, so let's say it just does some API request and then accesses the document and reviews the orders, comes back and say, okay, after looking into the order, it appears that the shipment is currently in transit, but was delayed due to unexpected logical issues. The carrier is working to resolve this as quickly as possible, and you should see an update in the tracking information soon. If the tracking does not update within the next 24 to 48 hours, please let me know. And please let me know, and I can assist you further. So here's an example of the OpenAI model being used with a prompt. I'm going to try another example before time eludes us. Let me see.
Actually, time has actually eluded us, but maybe you could just
Okay.
use some and just do a roundup.
Say that again, please.
Maybe you could just do a roundup, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
you could
okay, okay.
probably add like references for the audience to refer back to. You understand?
Oh, great, great. Yes, I will do that. I will do that. Okay.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
yeah, we've gone through a live demo of what you can do with Azure OpenAI. I'm going to share on the same platforms where we've shared our invites. We're going to share a list of references to for you to play with. Okay. I've set up a few prompts as well as a few example model instructions and a few prompts, you know, that can showcase different use cases of this OpenAI resource. Let me see if there's anything else I haven't touched on over time. We could just wrap up. And so there are different use cases again. Intelligent chatbot, like you've seen, customer service, internal help desk, virtual assistants that leverage ChatGPT models. We can have content generation uh, models that create marketing copies. So rather than have somebody copyright, you could have your model dedicated to copywriting certain types of copies for a certain class of industry. You know, you could also generate email drafts, summaries, creative writing reports. Like I mentioned earlier, code assistance and semantic search. So best practices for uh, this is prompt engineering. You need to be specific and provide context. Use system language for chats, and iterate. So you send a prompt, you look at how that prompt behaves, then you modify the prompt again. And when I talk about prompt, I'm talking about the model instruction that you have here. Most often than not, everything in the chat history showcases what the end user will see when you finally deploy this model. So it's out of your hands. So I deploy this model and Promise and Popola on my website, and they are using the model. This is what their experience would look like. So I have no direct input or way to change it except using the model instruction. So as you can see in this example model is as specific as possible. You are an Azure bot, a friendly and helpful customer agent, limits as to okay what you can do not provide certain information, limits as to how it should behave, and how it should handle um, unresolved questions. So again, one of the best practices again is model selection. Like I touched on all those model catalogs that we have, you need to choose the right model. For this, we chose chat. We chose GPT-4. If you are running email generation, you would want to choose DALL or one of the email generation models. If you were running um, text to speech, you would choose maybe one of the old mini models. And if you're running audio generation too, yeah, it all depends on what your use case is that would influence your model selection.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Dami, for this session. It's been really, really great. It would also be helpful if you could post links of resources like this so that our audience can always make use of this. So I mean, it was really, really nice having to um, learn about this particular topic from you. And of course, we do look forward to upcoming sessions in the next coming days as well. But for our wonderful viewers, so let's take some time out to wish Dami a thank you for his dedication and his sacrifice to give us this wonderful session today. Thank you very much, Dami. It was nice having you on the session.
It was nice being here. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, viewers, we are down to the end of the session for today, but we have some more interesting sessions for you coming up in the coming days. And I would like you to stay tuned. If you haven't followed our Meetup page, our LinkedIn page, you can see our social media handles are currently scrolling down. I'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn page, and our Meetup page to get updated with all of the programs we have for you. Also, tomorrow 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. What? We have a session for you. Yes, and we have an amazing speaker as well for that session. And it's going to be a wonderful topic, and it's focused on LinkedIn optimization for job role visibilities. So this is one topic I know that you all don't want to miss out on, because you are going to be having experts coming on the board to talk about this. So look up to this. If you haven't registered, ensure to register, and we'll see you tomorrow. So I would like to say thank you everyone for joining session for today, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye all.